a job ends, what's the first decision people feel pressure to make? It's rarely a long-term decision. It's usually a short-term one. After losing a job, most people immediately try regaining control quickly. They update resumes overnight and start applying everywhere almost immediately, looking for another job. Because when income suddenly stops, it doesn't just disrupt cash flow, it disrupts certainty. And restoring certainty fast feels like the priority. I'm Vicki Joern, a financial advocate, and I help individuals and families navigate financial transitions with clarity. And many people reach out to me right after a job ends unexpectedly. Not because they failed financially, but because the moment suddenly demands decisions they weren't planning to make yet. Recently, I worked with a couple who had done almost everything right. They had a retirement date, a clear timeline, savings aligned with their goals, and they weren't guessing. They were prepared. Then, his company announced a layoff. And just like that, the retirement timeline moved up almost 2 years. Not because they wanted it to, but because it was suddenly on the table. And here's where the pressure showed up. His question wasn't just, can we retire? It was, do I keep working somewhere else? Do I take the package and retire earlier than planned? Or do I take the package and look for another job role, full-time or part-time? Just to bridge the gap. None of those options were wrong, but choosing too quickly could make one of them expensive later. This is a moment many people miss. Job loss doesn't force bad decisions. It forces early decisions. And early decisions, when made under pressure, can quietly reshape retirement. Income, taxes, and lifestyles for decades, especially for people with significant assets to protect. So before touching retirement accounts, before locking in a new identity, before deciding what's next, the most important step is not action, it's clarity. Because regaining control doesn't come from speed. It comes from understanding what options truly exist. So I want to talk to you about 5 strategies to regain control. Strategy 1 is review the entire financial picture. When income stops, people focus on replacing it. But the smarter first step is understanding the full picture. Assets, savings, retirement accounts, spending needs, debt, insurance, goals, your goals. Clarity changes how pressure feels. Confidence follows understanding. Strategy 2. Identify planning gaps early. Income changes expose areas that were easy to overlook before. Tax timing, healthcare costs, risk exposure, income sequencing. These aren't mistakes. They're updates. And finding them early keeps them manageable. Strategy 3. Avoid rushed retirement decisions. When retirement moves closer suddenly, it can feel like relief. But retiring earlier than planned changes income substantially, sustainability, withdrawal strategies, and long-term flexibility. Slowing this decision often protects years of future security. Strategy 4. Create income bridge options. Sometimes the best move isn't work or retire. It's a bridge. such as consulting, project work, part-time roles. Fringe income preserves assets and gives you room to decide without pressure. Strategy number 5. Get an objective second perspective. When the timeline changes, fresh eyes matter. Not to tell you what to do, but to help you see what you may not need to rush. Second perspectives prevent small timing decisions from becoming permanent consequences. Job loss changes income. It should not rewrite the future you've been building. The risk isn't the layoff, it's what gets decided too quickly afterwards. Next time, we'll talk about how to decide whether working again actually makes sense, or whether this transition opens a different kind of opportunity. Because sometimes the question isn't, can I keep working? It's, should I? If you are navigating this moment and want help, slowing the process, the decisions, and figuring out and protecting what you've built, and choosing what comes next with confidence, schedule a conversation and let's walk through this together. And remember to always be financially prepared for today and the certainties of tomorrow.